Hi guys, welcome back to my Python tutorial series. It has been a really long time since I've made a video. It is because of school and personal project. As you know, I'm working on my game. So today we'll be covering operators and talking about user input. We have arithmetic operators and we have comparison and logical operators. Let's just get started. We have arithmetic operators. To start with, we will do x equal 5, y equals 3, and our arithmetic operators are math operators for basic math. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, and exponentiation. So that's basically squared, cubed, so forth. So we can get started. I think we all know we can do print x plus y. If you watched my previous videos, you will know what print does. If you haven't, go back to the previous video and watch it. It is in this tutorial series playlist. We have print x plus y. We have print x minus y. We have print x times y. We have print x divided by y. We have print x floor division of y. This will give us a number without a decimal point. We have print x modulus y. This will give us the remainder of the two. And we have x to the y, like that. And as we print them out, you see 5 plus 3, 8, 5 minus 3, 2, 5 times 3 is 15. And then we have 5 divided by 3, 1.67 repeated. Our remainder over here, floor division first, that's going to give us 1. Then this is 2. And then we have 125 for our exponentiation. This is just like square root cubed. It is squaring or cubing it based off the number. So because our x and then y, so this is basically just 5, substituting 5, and then just cubing 5 by the number 3, because that's what the number is. If this is 2, it would square it, so on and so forth for each number. Now let's just get into some of the other things we have today. We have logical operators and comparison. We will get started with comparison. So I'll actually bring back the x and y. So if x and y were the same and I wanted to get a true or false, we can print x equal y. Sorry, I added an extra one. This gives us true because 5 and 5 are equal to each other, but let's say we say x is greater than or equal, x is greater than y, is going to give us false. This checks if this number is greater than this number. Less than, false because x is the same. Less than or equal to, because there's an equal to, it's going to say true. So it checks if it's either, is it equal to or is it less than, greater than or equal to. It's not greater than, but it is equal to, so it will work. We have not equal to, which is also an operator. This just checks if this is not equal to this. So it's saying, is 5 not equal to 5? No, it is equal to each other, so it prints out false because they are equal to each other. These are are comparison operators. We will get further into it in further episodes. But for now, this is all you need to know for comparison operators. Now we have logical operators. Logical operators are and, or, and not. These are useful for further episodes and will be used in further episodes, but a good example is I'll create a variable called is sunny and set it equal to true. Sorry, that is not what I meant to do. Okay, and then I'll make another variable equal to is warm, and I'll set it equal to false. And then I'll take a print and say is sunny and sorry, I forgot. And then we will insert our operator, which is and, right here. And then we'll say our other variable is warm. When I print this out, this will print false, because the AND operator, how it works is it checks if both are true. Since both aren't true, it will return a false. As I said, this will be used in future episodes where this will be very useful indeed. Now we have another example of or. So this or that, is it sunny or is it warm? This will return a true because sunny is true. But if both were false, it will return a false. As you see, so it's this or that. If this was true, it will return a true. Now we have not. So the not operator, we can say is sunny. We'll just in front of it just say not is sunny, and this will return true because it is not sunny. But if sunny was true, this will return a false because it is sunny. So now we will talk about taking user input into your program. This is very useful for many things. We can get user inputs for names, details, passwords, usernames, things like that. So let's get started. So we can put name and then we'll say equal to input, and this is how we get the user input. And I won't go into much detail about how the input works in this episode, but I will go into further detail in the next episodes about more things that you can do with input and other things that are used with the input function. Yes, this is a function you're calling, a built-in function in Python that has already been created, that is in Python. So you can say enter your name, and then we can say print, and then we can use name here. So we'll say hello, we will add a comma. Adding a comma is a little bit different. Adding a plus sign is also different. Adding a comma will make it into one string. I think I went over this in previous episodes, but we will use a plus sign because it's easier. It automatically converts it into a string, so we do not have to use the str method, which is also another function, str, which stands for string. So we will say Remy, and then when I hit enter, hello Remy. I should add a space there. Now if I say Remy, it will print hello Remy. Now you can also of course use commas right here. Just don't forget to use the str function and wrap name around it so you do not get an error when calling it. And when you group it with the commas, it will automatically put a space, so you do not need an extra space. As you see, if I remove this string, which converts, well, this is a string, so it will work no matter what, but if I do change it, it will stop working, as you see. Okay, let's continue. Sorry, I had to stop for a minute and come back and continue the recording, but let's continue. So as we were talking about user input and so forth. So let's use some user inputs. So first of all, we will say number. We'll create a variable called number1, and we will assign it a input of a float, so we want to get a number that's a float. So let's get a float, and I highly recommend going back and watching my 2 previous videos. They will give you a better understanding of the variables we're working with and everything. And then we will get input, and we will say enter a number, and then we will get a number. So input returns a value of a string, and we do not want a string, so we use the float to turn a string into a float. You can also turn an integer to a float as well, so we can do number 2. We will get another float, input, and we will enter a number, and now we will add number 1 and number 2 plus number 2. I forgot to add the variable, so that's a breakpoint, don't mind that. We will say result. So this is our result from adding this is our result from adding number 1 and 2 together from our user inputs, and then we can print out this result and say the sum of both numbers is, and then I'll add a plus sign and say result. There you go. That should work. We will enter a number 5 and a number of 10. See, that's my fault. It has to be a comma. I completely forgot. 10, 5. We get a number of 15 with a decimal point because we chose float. We can do integers here. We can use int, and this will not give us the decimal point at the end. Sorry. No space there. We can't have a space. So last time when I did 10, I entered a space and then said 5. This cannot be converted to an integer, and when it tries to convert it to an integer, it gives us this error because it's not a number. As you see, there was a space between them. It was a mistake from my part, but just information for you guys. And this is how user inputs work. This can be used in the stuff we will do next episode, which are if statements. We will conditional statements, and we will also learn about more things with the conditional statements, which is if else and more. So yeah, see you next time.